Hey guys, another video, same outfit. I'm just making like a whole bunch of videos so I can just premiere them slowly by scheduling them. Anyways, if you guys haven't checked my last week's video, it was kind of a rant of authenticness versus fakeness. Check it out. Find it somewhere. I'll put it somewhere. You know how it works here. So this video, I want to talk about loneliness in general. I had a friend who messaged me on Facebook who remain nameless here. Been having problems about figuring out spirituality and kind of declared, kind of seeping the word druid and see if it works. And has no friends around and have no one to connect. And this is pretty cool because this brought me back to my earlier days where I was so naive to a lot of stuff. So naive. So this brings me back to, picture this, about 16 years, yes, 16 years because it's past this fall. 16 years ago. I was probably in my, think 14, 15 Wiccagem years old. This is before he was ever born on YouTube. I was so desperate. I can classify myself at that time as a Dollar Tree witch. Everything that I had on my altar was Dollar Tree. In fact, I'm still using the same altar table that I started off with, and I will not leave that table. Plus, that table has been in my life since I was 4 years old. I have a picture at when I was 4 years old of me actually coloring on top of that table. So that table has a really connected to me. And I guess my mom bought it probably like 2 months before I was born. The reason for, because of me, because it's lowish and it can go with me, and the other table she had was too high and it had a really sharp corners and to avoid me actually biffing it. So that table has a lot of meaning behind it, and there was intention behind it. Even now, I love that table. When I first started in the craft, I was Dollar Tree witch. I always had everything Dollar Tree, incense, stone, you name it, everything was on there. And I was so desperate to find a coven. Here in Portland, Oregon, there is plenty witches here. There is a lot, if not crazy bunch on top of bunch on top of bunch of tiers of witches. And they're everywhere. There's a lot of proclaiming witches around here. There's a lot of, I call them protester witches. They're kind of spiritual protesters. There's a lot of fairy Wicca. It was basically born here in Oregon, which is amazing. There's a lot of them everywhere. If you not come across one, you come across someone who's a hybrid of fairy Wicca, which is kind of amazing. But to me, I'm kind of stepping back, but I want to actually add that to my name, but I'm undergoing the word witch, so I'm slowly absorbing. Anyways, and I was so desperate to find people. I was so desperate. I went everywhere. I advertised myself everywhere. I had a website geared towards finding other witches here in Portland, Oregon, and I even got onto the Witch's Voice, vox.com, and I just desperately threw myself out there, and I was like, you know what? It was good. It was amazing. I'm on the right track. Found a couple covens. First coven I was joining into, or about to join in, I wasn't initiated it, but I was test trialing it for a couple of days, for a couple of times, and I didn't connect with them. They were so cold and standoffish to newbies, and they pretty much had us in one circle. It was like we were doing a protection spell on all of us. We're on the same page. I was like, sure, I'm game. I love protection spells. Who doesn't? And they asked like our sun sign and what element that relates to. And I go, well, I'm air by birth. My sun sign's Gemini, but I feel sometimes with connected to water even more. So I don't know where you want to place me. They're like, well, water's for females, airs are for males, throw you in the eastern side. So I was like, okay, this is cool. So as we're casting a circle, I didn't know what to say or what to cast or what to even to invite, and I had a paper in front of me, but the lighting was so low that I had like try to read it, and as I made mistakes like everyone else does, I got ridiculed for it afterwards. Well, the Eastern could have been stronger if if we didn't have such a new character, is what I overheard over my shoulder. So I'm like, no, cut. I don't have time for that drama, because I'm like, no, because if they are treating me like this, what happened if I become friends? They would say behind my back, and that's even 10 times worse, because then I'm connecting to them as a friend, and then they turn around and stab me swiftly. No thank you. So the second one I went with, and I didn't connect well with them either, being that they were all about like material-like. It was materialism everywhere. It was, my crystal ball cost $6,000 feeling to it. It felt like it was just too luxurious, and money was behind it, and it felt very quote-unquote housewifey. Not me. And so those are my problems of finding it. And I found out later down the years that it's best if I'm just solitary. It's best if I just have me, myself, and I, and that I get to control what I want, get to take what I want. But for you who is trying to find other people, you don't really need to find other people to satisfy yourself spiritually. I think you can just take care of yourself. And that when you need someone spiritually, there's internet, which is a huge gateway. And there's another thing that it's just, sometimes you have to wait, and it'll land on your lap. And when it lands in your lap, you realize, I got to deal with this. Like, these are the cards I have. I'm going to deal with this. I'm going to work with this. So if it happens, it happens. Your body will tell you. Your spirit animals or spirit will tell you it's time for you to actually have a coven. I think we foresee you with a coven. Here's a coven. Work with this, and this is what will be it. And see if you like it. And if you don't, then maybe you try another one, and you try another one, and try another one. And if it doesn't work out, then you'd be like me, who's a solitary. So I think patience is a really good thing, and calmness, and basically throw yourself, and this is a really great news for newbies, throw yourself in books and just read everything and take what you want that sounds right, and leave whatever doesn't sound right, and then maybe get back to it later, and just absorb as much knowledge about anything, so you have it, so you can talk about it and run ideals with one another. So I hope this kind of makes sense for you. So till then, don't let no one bully you out of it, and don't let no one make you feel like you're less of or loser because you're solitary, because I'm a solitary witch here. Till then, thank you for subscribing and liking, whatever. I love you guys. Blessed be. Peace.